Here it is, our brand new GeForce RTX 50 series Blackwell architecture. The GPU is just a beast.
We think the sell-off after hours was because while they did beat consensus, they didn't beat it by very much. And I think investors have been used to significant beats by, let's call it a couple $1 billion per quarter, and they delivered less than that. And I think you can just attribute that to probably some China. China is not part of the mix in the third quarter. It probably was part of at least some consensus. And certainly the second quarter was a bit choppy as well. So I think that's led to the sell-off for the most part. We saw it sell off as much as 4% after hours, started recover down to down -2, but I think that initial print was a little bit worse than what investors were expecting.
This is DGX1. This is 1 petaflops.
I hate even saying, oh, it was disappointing in any way. This is the most amazing growth company we see in technology and in the world today. So, but still just fell just a smidge short of investor expectations. China is certainly the wild card today on whether they'll be allowed to sell. If so, which sort of products, even if they are allowed to sell by the US, will China be receptive? Will the Chinese government be receptive? There are a lot of questions. So the third quarter guidance excludes China completely. Nvidia said they would be able to sell maybe 2 to 5 billion of revenue if the restrictions were lifted, and potentially more if there was a great opportunity tomorrow. So they could still sprinkle in a little bit of revenue. There could still be upside, and I think as analysts, we'll be staying tuned to see how how the winds blow in terms of the regulations and where it goes. I think there were extremely high expectations. To some extent, Nvidia was beating so significantly 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, that I think investors take the guidance and layer on a revenue beat on top of that. And, an inability to predict that beat is probably what led to, again, a little bit of disappointment. I mean, we all know that it's growing by tremendous numbers, but how much will they beat by? And the truth is they didn't beat by that much. They're still rolling out the new Blackwell products. The Blackwell Ultra just came out. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of demand problem. We're actually impressed with what they're doing in the US. But if you do look at growth, particularly if you looked on a sequential basis compared to the first quarter had some China sales, second quarter did not. All those things might, again, lead to a little bit of miss on the forecasting side. Nvidia's business is still doing exceptionally well. They still are very bullish on demand, not just for 2025. We were impressed with some of the discussion about what they're seeing over the next few years. They're calling for $3 to $4 trillion of data center infrastructure spend over the next 5 years. Nvidia has been capturing about a third of that. So that's a cumulative figure, not what they'll do in any given revenue year, we don't think. But still, they're very bullish. They hinted that they're getting good plans for good build outs from the US hyperscalers, in addition to what's going on in sovereign AI. They expect sovereign AI revenue to double this year. They're at a $10 billion run rate on their networking, which is a cherry on top of everything they're doing in GPUs. That layer and that ability of Nvidia to expand into networking in addition to its GPU dominance, it has been really impressive in our eyes. So there's a lot still to like with Nvidia, even if there's some turmoil with China. China is an opportunity. If they are allowed to sell into China, it would be upside for Nvidia, but it's not necessary for Nvidia to still grow significantly. But in general, the world's AI is expanding aggressively still. There's still few, if any, signs that demand is slowing in any meaningful way. Instead, it seems like these build-outs are going to continue for at least a few more years, and management has been bullish. They've delivered. They're going to continue to be bullish, and they were bullish on this call. So it was we still think it was an impressive quarter, even if they missed on forecast by a smidge.
CIE 的插槽去做加值跟扩充，那这边的话是必须要用，像这个就没有办法装在这个上面，那它这个就是单卡这样做